Hello and welcome to a game of Dota 2. You're watching StarSeries, and this is a game in day 23. And it's gonna be a day where we're gonna see 6 games in total. A lot of games. Better yet, a lot of really high-profile matches and a lot of hyped matches. I'm hoping that they're gonna be able to live up to their expectations. I'm not only talking about Empire versus Fnatic, which will be our first game of today, but also Navi Quantic, Navi Alliance, Alliance Quantic. I mean, there's a lot of hype around these teams and even more hype around these matches, and I'm really hoping that they can live up to it. We're gonna find out though. Of course, I'm not by myself today. I am joined by 2 people who will be with me hopefully the entire day. We've got Nahaz, who'll be our statsman for today. You won't hear him, you won't see him, but you'll see what he does inside the game client with providing you with stats and all. And of course, the person that you will hear, it is Capitalist. Welcome to the broadcast, or welcome back, I should say.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Of course I'll be here for you, Sheba. Why would I ever leave you?
I don't know. I was actually mostly aiming for Nahaz because I don't know when he has to leave.
I was about to say, well, I'm not welcome back at Toby's stream because he's got a better caster over there.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. He's getting Cinderin tonight.
Yeah,
so I'm a little jealous.
I know. Well, we can do better. We will prove that or something. I don't know. Oh well, Empire, Fnatic. I think most people are looking towards Fnatic to take this one. However, Era is actually on holiday right now, so he's not here. And he is being replaced by Mitch. And Mitch has been a stand-in that we've seen before. I think actually I've seen him only stand in for Empire, for a former Empire actually before this. But Mitch, he'll be standing in for Fnatic. What do you know about that player? If anything at all.
Not a whole lot. I've seen him in a couple of games. With actually filling in for Fnatic once before, I think. But other than that, just here and there. I don't really know a whole lot about him in general. But this team matchup in general, like Fnatic holds a special place in my heart. I'm very upfront about that. But Team Empire has been looking really, really good. Like, to be honest, among the 2 teams, Empire and VP, I really thought VP was going to be the ones that was going to be really kind of dominating, but this new Empire lineup just is looking fantastic. I mean, they've lost a couple of games, but even those games, I think they performed really well, and they just made some minor mistakes that ended up losing control of the game. So I'm really excited to see this matchup. I think it's going to be a strong one. And we already got some bans coming out. Visage, Darkseer, Wisp, and Batrider all being banned away, while the Naga Siren first pick from Team Empire. And Fnatic taking a long time to take up Nyx Assassin and whatever second pick. No surprise it's going to be that Weaver.
Yeah, I have to say I'm surprised that Nyx gets picked up so early on. I mean, I was maybe expecting an OD or something like that. Even though Empire can, of course, still pick up that Razor if they want to. But right now, Empire has a chance to pick up the OD and have the chance to ban out the counters towards it straight after, so maybe a bit risky. But Nyx Assassin, it's a hero that we see a bit off. I mean, he gets banned, he gets picked, but to pick him up as a first hero, I'm not too sure if that's the best decision here. They must have a reason for it though. And perhaps they have got a very strong support combination. I mean, one of the downsides that I find with having a support that you might not be used to playing with is that you kind of have to work your lineup around him, because you have to like ask stand-in, what do you play most? What's your best heroes? What's your best role? First of all, you can't just put him in a role that, you know, you're for example, your carry, if he normally plays the support or something like that. It's interesting, and perhaps that's why they pick up Nyx Assassin first. Perhaps that's why they are forced to maybe change a bit of their hero priorities here. As Empire goes for the Chen, so that's their support combination ready in theory. Naga Siren and Chen. Gonna be expecting an, if they have the chance of course, a Gyrocopter to help set up for the Naga Siren song. And Naga Siren, if she's gonna be played as support, you kind of need a ranged carry there, so I would say Gyrocopter is a good bet here for Empire, as we actually have a disconnect from Scandal, who is of course a drafter for Empire, so he might be ticking into some bonus time here.
Well, hopefully we don't need a remake. Hopefully he's able to come back before they have to auto pick something. My Dota TV. I always forget about it. I just turned it on, so Fnatic Yeah, it is kind of interesting they picked up the Nyx so early, but they've got looking towards sort of maybe a heavy gank lineup, which is gonna free up Weaver enough time to be able to farm. You've got some squishy heroes already on the board, Naga Siren and Chen. If you can get the jump on them with a Nyx Assassin, maybe even setting up another gank for another hero to come in and help finish him off, should be some pretty easy kills for Nyx Assassin if his lane goes well. Meanwhile, Team Empire looking more like a little bit more team fight. Like you said, the Naga Siren being able to set up. You've got some early push coming out from the Chen, and typically you don't want to go too late with the Chen, just because he provides very, very minimal going into the late game. Compare that to like an Enchantress, who actually provides a lot in serious impedance damage. Chen, all he really provides is a teleport. Like the Chen heal, his heal is nothing to talk about. He'll probably have a mech, but maybe a pipe or some other helpful item like a Vlad's, but nothing really that's that helpful in the late game. So
Yeah, by the
maybe
way,
looking to just
well, Empire is actually, it was Fly that was disconnected, and Empire was friendly enough to use their bonus time up for Fly. How friendly is that?
Oh,
Fanatics
nice.
turn to ban.
He's back, by the way. That's cool. Sorry, I interrupted you.
StarSeries is just full of good manners lately.
I know. It's yeah. It's crazy.
Like using the wild card for the opposing team.
That was kind of,
Right.
you know, that was, you don't want to be the bad guy there. You get to choose.
That's
You
true.
want to have a def win, or are you gonna reschedule?
Yeah, but no one's gonna flame you for taking the def win. I mean,
They have to save face, though.
maybe they'll be like, oh, okay, I see what kind of team you are, but a win's a win in my book. Hey, this is
True.
for money. This is for people's livelihood. You know.
True. And this up against Quantic, I mean, it would have been a good def win too. It's not like, you know. Yeah. Oh well. Let's see, Empire, they ban out the Enigma in the end. We've seen Enigma played a couple of times by Fnatic, but I'm not sure if I was expecting him this time. I'm expecting more of a hero that works well together with the Nyx Assassin to get perhaps some early aggression going. It is a hero that works well together with the Nyx Assassin, actually. It's a Keeper of the Light. I wouldn't say they would go ganking, though. That's not really Keeper of the Light style. Could be a very safe tri lane there. In theory, there's a chance they go for aggressive tri lane, but there is also a theory that I don't really like and I don't really want to... Well, Phantom Lancer? I don't really want to. But he could be, like, it fits, and then Weaver off lane. Looks pretty.
Yeah, they could be. One of the best things about Keeper of the Light is he's really good at being able to defend early pushes. Chen pushes are a little bit too much for him to handle, but he can slow them down a little bit. So Keeper of the Light, running your tri-lane in the safe lane, especially if you're on the Radiant side, being able to have access to double and triple pulls, getting Keeper of the Light those early levels. That way, when the time comes, those early pushes start coming out, you can use your Keeper of the Light, teleport to that top lane, your off lane, and start spamming out some Illuminates. It's really, really helpful because it just delays the push. It delays that tower going down and just keeps up a little bit more map control and delays the bonus gold they're going to be able to get from that one, which can get other heroes really key things like boots with your offlane hero and that sort of thing. So they're setting themselves up here though for a little bit of gank. Keeper of the Light, like you said, is not going to go ganking with the Nyx Assassin. More likely he's going to teleport to that off lane and it's going to be more like a dual lane once the push starts coming in. And Nyx Assassin is going to take that opportunity to try and pick up level 6 as soon as possible, and that off lane Bounty Hunter, who provides zero help against defending pushes, he's going to try and move around once he hits level 6 and start ganking with the Nyx Assassin, and they can start snowballing with that that trackle. Right now we're looking at what seems to be what is definitely a Weaver as a hard carry. I'm not a big fan of it. I like to see him in dual and tri-core strats, but maybe we're going to see more of a semi-carry picked up for the mid. We already have the Puck being banned out though, so Queen of Pain is definitely a high priority right now. I mean, she's always a high priority, but you've got some, with the gank squad that you already have set up, Queen of Pain would be an excellent addition to that. But it might not be, I mean, personally, for me, it's not enough carry with the Weaver.
Yeah.
But Team Empire, they've got really strong team fight set up. Naga Siren Sleep, Clockwork ultimate, both of those good initiating tools. Gyrocopter following up with his flat cannon and his ultimate. And now we're just waiting on both mids to be picked up.
Yeah,
And
with...
Quap would actually be
Ooh,
a great hero for them as
look
well.
at that!
Wow.
Invoker! I like it. I have seen Invoker actually 3 times, 2 times actually now in StarSeries. Maybe not all in StarSeries, maybe some in the EMS Cups. But Invoker, mid, well, I have to say I'm unconvinced. It really depends what Empire puts against that though, but we still have something like a Queen of Pain in the pool, so... Or even a Dragonite, really, like, Empire can put anything against Invoker, what they want to. But it's not as strong anymore as it used to be 1 year ago. That's a long time ago. But, yeah. Oh, by the way, for people inside Dota TV that are still not able to hear Capitalist, if you want to be able to hear him, there's a simple fix. You switch to the Russian broadcast, and then you switch back, and you should be able to hear him, and everything is sorted out fine. So that's a fix right there. I have to say, I don't really have words for the Invoker, because I really thought that was a no-till hero. And I thought Hani was going to be the mid player again, as Night Stalker gets picked up by Empire, and that's going to be one of the better early game counters against the Invoker, because if you can silence Invoker, he is not going to do anything. He cannot run. Well, he can run, but he's not going to run very far, because you're going to slow him, you're going to kill him if you're a Night Stalker. And I think it's a very good pickup for Empire. If he has a good first night, he is going to be enough to buy time for the Gyrocopter to get big, and then you've got the team fight potential from Gyro, Naga, Chen, Clockwork. It's looking pretty strong for Empire, I have to say.
Yeah, I figured they were going to pick up with something with high mobility and some good team fight. I was thinking about Queen of Pain, but then when the Invoker got picked up, Queen of Pain is really too susceptible at that point to not only just the Nyx Assassin and the Bounty Hunter, but now the Invoker being able to provide those early cold stab stuns and that burst damage. It'd be really, really risky. So now we're going a little bit safer bet, like you said. He's good in lane. He's very, very strong in lane versus Invoker being able to pick up good CS versus him, and generally maybe some rune control, because Invoker doesn't necessarily move out of his lane a whole lot and doesn't always doesn't really go bottle. So Night Stalker's gonna have that opportunity to bottle Crow, spam out the nukes versus that Invoker to be either on the hero or the creeps in order to pick up more gold. And from there, we're going to transfer into the mid game, where you're going to see things like Armlet and BKB, where you've got a good silence versus the Weaver, and you've also got some additional physical damage to be able to help the Gyrocopter carry, especially once you pick up that Armlet Night Stalker with his consistent damage over time, because he's so tanky and he always is able to chase down all these heroes. He's able to constantly get in those auto attacks, which is going to be able to help out the Gyrocopter a lot. A hero who can also stand up to the ganks of the Bounty Hunter and the Nyx Assassin as well, especially during nighttime, because he is so tanky that those stuns won't last long enough to be able to kill him.
Yeah, 4-1 record on Invoker, which is a good record, but it does say that, you know, he only played it 5 times in competitive Dota. Hani will take on the Invoker for Fnatic, I have to say. I'm curious to see how he works out, and I'm also curious to see what kind of build he goes for lately. Well, I say lately, but since his big nerf, the reason why he didn't get picked up as much anymore, he kind of gets forced to go either for Blades of Attack or goes for Exort first. And apparently the game doesn't seem stable for a couple of guys from Fnatic, so there is a chance that we might have a remake, but we'll see about that. Of course, before introducing everybody, you're watching Starladder Star Series Season 7, Day 23 of 30 days. That means that next day, Sunday, is our last day in the group stages. We're gonna see 6 games today, and this is only game number 1. Fnatic on the Radiant side, Empire on the Dire side, as we're waiting for Mag to reconnect back in. But we have got Fnatic. Hani playing the Invoker will take on the mid role. Looks like the Stand-in Mitch will take on the role of Air, will farming up on that Weaver. Trixie on the Bounty Hunter, No Tail playing as Nyx Assassin, and then Fly on the Keeper of the Light. And it all looks pretty straightforward in terms of lanes, just a simple, safe trial lane. A lot of pressure on that Bounty Hunter to roam around, and a lot of pressure on Hani not losing his mid lane. And of course, being able to counter that Night Stalker in the first mid game for the entirety of Fnatic, just to not get caught out. When nighttime hits, they have to be careful. I'll leave Empire for you to be introduced. If you're still here. You said you weren't gonna leave me.
Sorry. Sorry, I know,
Oh.
I know. I needed for a second because I had to do
I
something.
almost
I'm
cried.
so sorry. I'm sorry I scared you like that. Empire! Scandal's gonna be on the Night Stalker. Mag on that Clockwork. Always Want to Fly's Nagasar Advanced Core is going to be the Chen. And that's going to finish up with Silent as your hard carry gyrocopter. Now, this, what you're talking about, especially that first nighttime, it's going to be very, very scary because not only is it the first night and Night Stalker is going to be moving around looking for kills, but also Clockwork should be hitting level 6 about that time. Maybe, 8 minutes, somewhere, a couple minutes into the nighttime. Clockwork is able to pick up level 6, and there's even more ganking potential from your team. So they're going to free up a lot of room, those two, for Gyrocopter to be able to farm. I expect Vanscore to be not only just jungling, but he also needs to be stacking for this Gyrocopter as well. I really feel that they need to take advantage of the fact that while they have some heavy gankers, they're going to have a lot of room for Gyrocopter to farm. He needs to be able to max out his gold by being able to pop stacks. So Chen, whether that's dedicating one creep to Ancient Stack every once in a while or whatever, that's going to be a big part of this game. Just because the Weaver, again, the faster you can pick up that gold, the faster they can force team fights and just stand up against the Weaver. The biggest thing about Weaver is you need disables or you need better team fight. You need better team fight where you just group up as 5, you run at them, and Weaver, while he Shikuchi's in and does some damage here and there, the team fight never breaks for you. You stay together as 5, and you just keep on going, and Weaver's never able to pick anybody off because you never are actually running away from a team fight. So they've got both here, and Weaver also takes a long time to be able to farm up those carry items. So if they're able to get Gyrocopter 2 items, 2 big carry items in the space of Weaver just picking up Lincolns, they can 5-man push, take down towers, and start cracking up the base pretty early on, I feel.
Yeah, I think Trixie is doing a good job already blocking the hard camp for the Chen, meaning that he can't really pick up one of those big creeps, at least for now. So that helps him a lot because, as you said, he needs to be stacking that. And, I mean, Weaver is one of those heroes that kind of needs more than just one item. He needs to have Lincolns and then some. So, as you said, he's taking a long time to get up, and Trixie just... Oh, he still got some. That's nice. Always Want to Fly helps him a bit, giving some vision to the creeps to chase Trixie down still. Where is he taking these, anyways? He's taking a long way around.
He is taking them
towards the jungle.
As far around as possible.
He's gonna farm with those in the jungle. That's actually a pretty neat thing. We've seen that before. It's yeah, works up the high ground. All successful. Hello, small camp. Hello, free farm. So yeah, there we go. Success achieved. So yeah, I'm expecting not too much aggression in the early game. I mean, in the mid lane, we're gonna have Scandal just getting his farm up as much as he can. He won't really be able to kill off Hani just yet, not until nighttime. He'll just be trying to use his Void to get some last hits. Hani, he actually went for Exhort to get that extra damage. We knew that it was either that or Blades of Attack, but Exhort is indeed the case. Also, he can't really kill off Scandal just yet, so that will also be fairly passive on his side. Clockwork is gonna try to do the stacking creeps into the jungle kind of thing, and then make sure that the lane pushes towards his side so he can get some experience. There's a free farming Gyrocopter, there's a free farming Weaver, and in a scenario like this, I was gonna say the most important thing might be the supports, but if Trixie is gonna make Scandal's life very difficult, then we might have a killing potential after all. But supports, they are gonna have to try and get as much experience and stacking in the jungle, as you pointed out. There's gonna be a lot of pressure on them, because supports, if they get themselves ahead, especially if you have a Nyx Assassin who really wants his level 6, Keeper of the Light for counter-pushing measures wants to have level 6 as well, Naga Siren needs to be having level 6 for the Song of the Siren, of course, and the Chen needs to have level 6 for having Hand of God. A lot of pressure on those supports. Whoever gets level 6 first might have an edge. He might be able to help his team defend against, well, in terms of Fnatic, defend against Scandal, and in terms of Empire, just not helping defend, but help go aggressive up against Fnatic, because I think that it is Empire that's going to be making the first move in this game, especially with that nighttime coming in on Scandal in about 4 minutes.
Yeah, you notice also that counters were given to Bounty Hunter, and that's a really, really smart play. First of all, Bounty Hunter went for boots first, because he's doing that pulling, but when he was also doing that pulling, he also went ahead and blocked the hard camp.
Yeah.
which I think actually failed.
Yeah, I was gonna say I see creeps, but
Because it already got pulled for in respawn. So unfortunate, but it was the right idea. And what this counter ward also allows you to do is when you counter a camp like that, they're either forced to they lose that camp entirely for the beginning of their jungle, which is really really important, or they counter it themselves, losing one of their counter wards for in lane. And the next counter ward that they come in and throw in lane, you have a counter ward for that. So in the end, you end up using both their counters and both of yours, which is to your advantage because Bounty Hunter then has a free lane where he knows he can just go invis and doesn't have to worry about anything because supports can't afford to buy an extra set of counter wards in lane because they have flying courier to upgrade and they also need to be able to pick up that next set of wards for that 6-minute rune. 6-minute mark for when the wards are typically going down, especially against a heavy gank squad. So I really like this play. This is smart. We've seen it from Bounty Hunters before. But right now, he's going to have to start worrying about some of these pushes coming in. And hopefully Keeper of the Light, still only level 2, working towards getting level 3. If he can be level 4 and have that constant chakra magic, which is going to keep him up in mana, and level 2 Illuminate, he can actually defeat most of these pushes from Empire, and that's actually going to take a really long time for them to take that tier 1 tower. And that's honestly a really big part of this. Like that gold is going to help out Night Stalker quite a bit. It's going to help out the Clockwork, who still needs to be able to pick up his boots. Grabbing those towers and just delaying that by a minute or two can actually affect the lanes pretty heavily.
yeah, I fully agree. I mean, one thing that you normally have with Night Stalker, especially if he's combined with the Chen, is that you try to go for a successful gank, Night Stalker gets a kill, and you do that in a lane where the Chen is hanging around there, Naga Siren is there with some illusions, and you push in. So successful gank results in a tower. Tower kill for Empire, that is. But if you have a Keeper of the Light there, even if he is the one that gets ganked, I mean, that's all fine, but normally he stands a bit further back, or he comes in only after the gank is successful, and Illuminate's will then stop that push, or at least slow it down enough for maybe Fnatic to set up something for themselves. In the meantime, I'm looking at Hani, he has got that Sunstrike. I'm kind of wondering, like, they don't really have that many setups for Sunstrike apart from the Nyx Assassin. And that's actually the only solid disable that they have. I'm not really counting Cold Snap as a solid disable, but the Impale is the only real stun they have. Empire is sitting on, of course, an Ensnare, is their only real disable, if you don't count Cogs, which I don't really count, or Homo Missile, which I don't really count either. Both teams are actually kinda low on disables. What's this anyways? Ah, there we go. A lot of issues on the side of Fnatic here with Dota, or Duda, as Trixie called it earlier. But hopefully they will be fixed. Yeah, a lot of pressure on the 6-minute mark, I think. Let's see if Scandal rotates away. It's the same thing as what you mentioned, I think, either yesterday or the day before or something like that. When a Nyx Assassin plays mid, the very easy thing to do is, like, when he hits level 6, you're gonna know, like, when he misses, everybody is away for a moment from the lane. Everybody is safe, or stays safe, waits for a moment until he appears again. The same thing goes here for Night Stalker, but even if he is missing, and maybe he goes into the jungle to farm, who knows, his nighttime is gonna be on for a while. So that kind of forces Fnatic to play safe for a long time, unless they have got a great vision of the map, because that's kind of needed. So we're gonna also look towards the supports, seeing where those wards are placed. But if Scandal is even farming and he's missing from the map, that should already be scaring Fnatic a bit into playing more safe, and therefore costing them maybe a little bit of farm. So even if he doesn't go ganking, even if he's just farming somewhere, it's already going to be having an effect on Fnatic's play, I think. And that's going to be, of course, the most important thing. Trying to stop the enemy from farming, trying to delay their farm, and finding kills if you can. But even if you can't, just being away from the minimap is already something that's great help. I think that Nahaz has listened to the Fox song a bit too often. All those stats have got the same theme. Fish go blub. Oh yeah. Naga Siren goes blub. Always want to fly. Sits actually behind Silent. They might want to try to go for Trixie here. They still have a sentry. They have to just go for the ensnare. In comes a sentry ward as well. Just one ensnare. Rocket Barrage might actually be resulting into a kill. Well, maybe if it was actually maybe a bit more into the vision of the sentry ward. There isn't a snare again in 4 seconds though. Trixie has to be careful. Are you still there? Nope. Okay. Left me again. Well, in the meantime, mid lane, Hani is actually doing just fine for himself. He's 13 for 3. Scandal, 12 for 0, so definitely not doing bad. And considering he's only last hitting with his Void, it's actually pretty decent. He has got an empty bottle though, but the courier will come his way to pick it up and bring it back to base to fill it up again. The 4-minute rune's still too far away to wait for that, really. Mag, in the meantime, sitting at level 2. He is going to be having a tough time getting that experience going if he can't really get the creep wave towards his lane, and it seems to be having some problems with that because there's constant stacking and pulling going on by Fnatic, so they're doing a good job at keeping the lanes in their court, and Mitch is actually still quite full on regen, so he doesn't even have to worry about last hitting under the tower and tanking up that creep wave all too much, as he is actually not having a creep wave.
I'm convinced my Skype is broken.
Okay.
Like, I didn't even mute myself, and all of a sudden I look over and it's muted again. Bounty Hunter's ganking middle, though, trying to put some pressure, but they just don't have enough. If Invoker, maybe at level 6 or level 7, Invoker provides a lot more firepower, but this early on, it's not going to work. Mag, meanwhile, he's been doing that stacking up. We see Clockworks do with Cogs. And Fly, he's actually about to pick up a lot of experience in the jungle. He's got this this triple stack. He's about to pop a lot of the smaller creeps here, which they're going to spawn a lot of skeletons, which means even more gold and even more experience. So that's huge for Fly. He's going to be level 4, which means he may even be level 5. That'll be level 3 Illuminate, defending that top tower when the time comes. That is, that's great. That's really, really important. I was expecting the Chen to be pushing in much, much earlier. Especially going up against a Bounty Hunter, a hero who does nothing about ganks.
Yeah, and they are gonna...
Middle, though.
Yeah, they're gonna go for Scandal here. In comes the Cold Snap, the Impale, the Sunstrike not set up, not even needed. Trixie picks up First Blood. Invisibility rune for no-till working out just fine, and... I mean, they didn't even need the Sunstrike. They did have, he did have a Forge Spirit, though, to maybe help out slightly, but in the end, oh well. In comes now Vanscore, taking some experience, instantly placing a sentry on top of the Observer that only just got placed for Fnatic. Will be a good pickup, also, of course, making sure that if it is in the level or minute 6, which is going to be in a minute, if Scandal leaves the lane, it's not going to be scouted out straight away. And Scandal now back in lane with a full bottle, already laying down some harassment on Invoker, but Invoker level 6. And Scandal level 5, so a level difference right here, and, well, Hani even winning his lane more than he already was. Last hit by still only 3 behind, actually, but good job for him.
Well, even though that gank was really bad for Scandal, his mid-game is really what's most important. So once we start getting those first couple night times, again, Trixie coming in, we've got the Keeper of the Light sitting back here. If he gets a good Illuminate, they're going to be able to pick up yet another kill on Scandal. And unfortunately, though, no Illuminate is going to come through, and Scandal's going to be just fine.
Yeah, no Sunstrike either. Only the Cold Snap. Only one spell being used here by Hani. We still have plenty of mana, so just had some issues with the resummon of a skill. Haste rune by No-Till, who gets himself another rune. That's 2 runes in a row going the way of Fnatic. In the meantime, Mitch is still free farming on the bottom lane, 39 for 5, and he is keeping up with the farm of Silent, who's sitting on 41 to 14, slightly ahead. Oh, middle again. Hani is actually going to be picked off. Scandal. Hello, nighttime. 20 seconds into nighttime, and he already has his first pick off. Well, if that's not a good start for nighttime, then I don't know what is. In the meantime, on the top lane, Trixie is being forced away because the push comes in, so that means that Keeper of Light is going to get forced to sit behind the tower, but he is not on his way here just yet. Maybe Trixie's gonna, yeah, he's gonna try to take the creep wave along with him. Very nice. Gets a hate train with him as well, though, but that's gonna delay the push at least. It's gonna be good.
And it should be giving Fly the time to move up to top. Instead, he's actually continuing to stack and farm out the jungle. I kind of expected him to be there. It should be Nyx Assassin who's the one pulling and taking advantage of the extra experience. Another thing, Clockwork has been... Mag has pretty much been spot on in his timing every single time. He's been rocking flaring the pull camp. The pull camp on the Radiant side. That has been denied so many times by Mag, and that's actually really hard to do, to get that timing right, especially since every single rocket you're in a
top
different
lane.
position.
No tail, already put up a spike carapace. It's Silent that goes down first. Trixie coming back in, always want to fly. Tried to run away, gets cold snap though. Illuminate will fly, will not be enough to pick him off. Maybe a well-timed Sunstrike could be doing the job here. It's Vanscore that they find first. And that's gonna be always want to fly, sent back to base. Vanscore not going down, in comes Scandal. Almost gets a Keeper of Light, was able to TP out in time. Silence up on Hani. Clockwork still ends up going down to the Weaver, that's actually on the bottom lane. As we have Scandal walking away from top lane, didn't end up getting a kill, and indeed Clockwork very far into the jungle, actually dying to the Weaver. So Mitch dive in that one, taking advantage of the distraction from the top lane so he could pick up a solo kill. Get some solo experience. That's a pretty big pickup for a Weaver.
Yeah, he knew exactly what Clockwork was doing, where he was at, so he took the opportunity and his serious level advantage to be able to just dive him and use time lapse in order to recover pretty much everything he gave in. Bounty Hunter, again, ganking that middle lane. Keeper Light's going to be coming in as well. They're going to need to wait for this Illuminate, I feel, but they're not going to. Especially with Nighttime, Fly can sit quite far back, out of vision, and just charge up an Illuminate, and as it goes off, the three of them can start attacking the Night Stalker. But he's going to move out of lane again, trying to rotate to top to make sure that there's nobody going to be defending this tower, and once he sees there isn't, he's actually going to go around and start helping out.
Yeah, tower will drop from this push for sure. We have got 4 heroes mid from Fnatic. They really want to help either Hani farm, or they want to take his experience away from him, or take a tower in return, of course. I'm not sure if they have enough pushing power. I think Empire might be trying to come in to defend that. They don't have a song just yet though. That would be of course a great way to initiate that one with, but Always Wanna Fly is still level 4. We have got Chen also without a Hand of God, so perhaps team fighting is not just what they want to do. We have got Mag sitting at level 5, by the way, same level as the offlane Bounty Hunter. A pretty decent level for Clockwork to be, who was, even if he died, who was of course picked off there, but who was by himself on the lane that, you know, normally Clockworks, they don't really have an option to get extra farm apart from sitting on the lane, even though Bounty Hunter has got extra options to roam around, get some jungle creeps while stealing from someone. In comes maybe the Void, nice! Illuminate, hits up on Scandals, not enough though, but it's enough to maybe force Empire back. But they're kinda on the hunt, and you can tell that. They just want to get some towers down in this nighttime. They want to make it worth it. Nighttime, of course, is going to be over fairly soon, and I think the Scandal kind of wants to have his level 9 soon as well, so he can still pick up Darkness, still extend this nighttime, but he needs to get something during this nighttime still if he wants to make that happen.
Yeah, he's being really, really aggressive, searching for these kills, but Fnatic knows exactly how to deal with a Night Stalker in his first nighttime, because he always comes back to middle. A little bit of damage going on Scandal, but he should be fine. Since he always comes back to middle, all they have some very mid-centric wards. You've got one that is purely for vision on the right side, and then on the left side you've got a little bit of rune ward vision, as well as being able to see if he tries to go behind the tier 1 at top, going towards that secret shop. So they've got some good vision to try and keep an eye on him as much as possible. Mitch, though, if he gets caught out with the silence, he's going to go down very, very quickly. The double damage, plus just the nukes from the Night Stalker by themselves, are going to be enough. You see if he can get him out. Oh, Mitch, very fast on that Shikuchi. Well played. Indeed,
that might have been just it, but Scandal now roaming around to bottom for nothing in the end. He will need to pick up some form of farm here. I mean, roaming around is good, unless you don't get kills, and unless you don't get farm. And right now, he's not getting either. He's just walking around like a headless chicken, not getting anything. He is dropping quickly in terms of net worth. Still ahead of the Invoker, but that's also being helped, of course, by the tower. And by the kill he had earlier, while Invoker did not get a last hit on the kill. And the ward's now disappeared.
Ooh.
Perhaps it's going to be...
I think that could have been an opportunity.
For Scandal.
No Tail, Gyrocopter popped his ultimate, and he could have spiked Carapace, because what they're going to be doing is, now that Nyx Assassin is level 6, they're going to be doing the Nyx Assassin Sunstrike, or the Bounty Hunter Sunstrike combo, where wherever they are, they have almost enough damage to pop all the heroes on the map. Just being able to have the Sunstrike come in and land is going to put them over the edge, and they're going to be able to kill anything they come across. So that's the combo that they're looking for now going into the mid game, now that both of their Invis heroes have the kill potential. Nyx Assassin now being able to pick up Vendetta at level 6. They're going to be moving into the jungle probably every once in a while, searching for the Chen, searching for the Tricopter who's going to be farming. It's very, very dangerous. And what Empire really needs to do is probably put a couple of counter wards, put a counter ward on top of the wards. While they may have defensive vision, they don't have counter wards with them, and they could easily get caught out in the jungle right now.
Yeah, they are placing down some sentries, just realizing the potential of Fnatic, but only where they are at the moment. And I think that, oh, actually Always Wanna Fly, I think that Always Wanna Fly might go down. Hand of God comes in, Sunstrike actually gets shared. Scandal still taking some damage, his Bounty Hunter is the one to go down. No Tail now, can't get away either, goes down as well. 2 pickups for Empire. In comes a Gyro, finds himself a Keeper of the Light, and that's gonna be a double kill for Silent, and that's gonna be 5 heroes of Empire mid. I was about to say that Scandal was probably very sad that he didn't get level 9 before the nighttime was over, but he got level 9 from those kills, instantly popped his darkness. And right now, Empire is back on track, pushing down another tier 1 tower, and therefore, of course, diminishing the farming that Fnatic can do. Kinda trying to choke them out slightly. Even though Mitch is still doing okay in the farm, he was not able to get the tower that went down mid got denied in the end. He's still trying to build towards that Linken's, or possibly Linken's anyways, but he is fairly far off, and well, he is going to be the next target, or at least his lane is going to be the next target, because that's the only tier 1 tower that's still standing, and the wards are already done. We have got some wards, aggressive wards from Empire inside the Radiant jungle, so they'll see what they can do on the bottom lane.
Yeah, you know, that last team fight was really, really bad because that, as you were saying, that whole entire nighttime was pretty much a bunk up until that last really bad team fight for them. So that should have been Fnatic ahead because of the fact the first nighttime went by without anything seriously bad happening. They weren't going to lose any towers until that team fight, until they lost it. They need to play a little bit more defensively. Now that it's daytime, they can get aggressive with some of their invis heroes and try and pick off and get some track kills like they've always been planning to do. Unfortunately, though, they're looking for Silent right now, and he has track on him. But Silent's playing very, very defensive. He knows the combo that Fnatic has, and he just knows he cannot get caught out by it.
Yeah, No Tail's Vendetta is about to run out, so that's going to be one wasted cooldown there, and Hani actually got brought in by Fly to try and make something happen here, but they just can't. Perhaps they can force out a 5-on-5 fight. It is daytime again, so they don't really have to fear Scandal all that much. But they should kind of fear Silent. I mean, he is quite powerful still. In comes a Cold Snap. Maybe they can make something happen with this one. Mitch, oh, Song, Always Wanna Fly,
Oh,
level 6.
no.
And this is setting up for something for Empire. Cooldown comes down up on 3. Fly will be a first target here. There he goes. In comes the Ensnare. Up on Hadi, who tries to TP himself out. But, oh, he's able to do that. No Void for him. And that means that that's going to be only 1 kill for Empire. Or maybe they can get something more. In comes the hookshot Impale. No Tail tries to run for it. Still gonna spike Carapace. In comes Scandal with a haste room. That's the most scary thing that you've ever seen. At least it is daytime. That kind of helps. But No Tail, Vendetta. Is it enough? It is enough. They don't have detection. That's gonna be one thing that Empire is gonna be sad about. They only end up getting a Keeper of the Light. Could have been so much for them, but well, at least they didn't lose any of their own, and they didn't lose a tower. So I guess it's still a win for Empire in the end. But I think they could have gotten more.
They really need to be able to have Dust. Mag, a little bit of trouble. Handy's actually jumping in him. Weaver's now going to be joining the fight, but he's got the teleport home. He's going to be able to... Oh, here comes the Sunstrike. He gets out in time. The teleport just coming in, and Handy's going to go down for it.
Yeah, still silenced up, trying to run, but can't juke that Scandal. Down goes Naga Siren in the meantime as well. Bounty Hunter able to pick her up in the back end, and Trixie actually going for Vanscore right now. That would be a track kill. That's a double kill for Trixie. No Tail still in this as well. He does still have quite a lot of mana actually. He can go for an Impale. Gets it as well. Trixie will still get picked off, but maybe Scandal will die. Spike Carapace. It's enough with Weaver coming in, and now Mag. He got 2 in his cogs, but I'm not quite sure if he's happy with that. Not with Mitch in there as well. No Tail might still be a target. Nice Impale, and that might be enough. That is enough. No Tail running for his life. Silent really wants to get him. Vendetta. It's enough. It is enough to keep him up, but he still has mana. He still wants to go for Impale. He still wants to help Mitch. Gets himself another kill. He comes in Impale. It hits, and another kill. Triple kill for Mitch. Brilliant play from No Tail in the smoke to get himself out into safety. He is so happy that Empire doesn't have a Zeus nor an Invoker nor a Rubik that can steal Sunstrike right now. He is just scrambling back to base. Fnatic winning that fight, getting a couple of track kills off the back of that after having a bit of a, well, bit of a fail not getting the Clockwork, but Clockwork came back to die still, so that was quite nice.
Yeah, that was a really good team fight for Fnatic for a couple of reasons. There were a lot of trades going back and forth, and for the most part, the team fight was pretty even. I think Fnatic got 1 kill up, which was that final one, Weaver killing the Gyrocopter. But the biggest thing was that was a huge influx of gold for that Weaver. He now not only has Lincolns 18 minutes in, which anything before 20 is good, but also has another 1,100 gold on top of that. So this is huge, a huge amount of gold for Weaver, and as we were talking about earlier, very, very slow farmer. So being 4-0-2 now, after that team fight, that just really it puts him that much closer to that. He can start working on that big team fight item, probably going to be something like Desolator. While Gyrocopter is expected to get those kills, he's expected to be in these team fights and to be able to pick up kills left and right. So this is really, really bad. Weaver is actually he's actually ahead in net worth over Silent. This is really, really bad. Gyrocopter is supposed to be at least 3,000 to 4,000 gold ahead of the Weaver right now because he farms so effectively. So Fnatic is actually much farther ahead than the gold graph would suggest, which is only 1,500 in the lead for them right now. So Fnatic in a good seat so far. Let's see if they can hold on to it going into the next nighttime, which is just about to start.
Yeah, and I think when the next nighttime hits, Silent might be having his BKB as well, so perhaps Empire can make something else happen. We've got a BKB being built up by Scandal as well, I would imagine that's what the Ogre Club is for. Scandal, I mean, he's been at 6 out of the 9 kills, it's definitely not bad, but it's not anything different from another mid I would expect. And in comes Darkness actually, with the nighttime, and wants to extend it. Let's see if he can make it a bit more successful than the previous nighttime where he actually ended up dying. But as we can see, Fnatic, they know it's nighttime and they play extra safe. They don't really have extra wards up, which I kind of find maybe risky. They have got 1 ward up on the bottom lane just placed, but they need to have some more wards. We still have fly. There we go. Thank you. And a sentry as well. So they need to have those. They need to have that vision. They need to know where Scandal is at any point, so they can be prepared for that and perhaps either run from him or take him down, whichever they want to do. But right now, Fnatic, they're playing extra safe, and it's working out.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he got spied out. Gyrocopter was pinging that one, I believe, because their ward that just died at the bottom river should have revealed. Keeper Light placing that, so they're either going to avoid that, or if they want to be able to move aggressively into the jungle, they're going to go ahead and counter that one. Either way, I'm a little bit surprised they haven't gotten too aggressive just yet. Maybe they're just waiting on they already have the BKB and the Helmet Dominator up on the Gyrocopter. I'm surprised that they're not 4-manning or 5-manning into taking down some of these towers. Like the tier 1 is still up. They can probably transition into a tier 2 pretty easily. Even going up against the Keeper of a Light, just the fear of a Night Stalker at nighttime, you're going to have a serious advantage.
Oh, did I infect you? Infect you? No.
You coughed, and the moment you coughed, I breathed in something that got into my lungs, and
that just sounds disgusting.
Almost choked me out there.
It's a real live virus over the interwebs. Oh my god.
Apparently.
Hey, Bounty Hunter is building a Force Staff. Is that something that we see very often?
It's not something we see very often for Bounty Hunter, but it is something we see a lot versus Clockwork. That especially because they don't have a Force Staff here. Like, Fly should be building into one, but he's actually going for a mech. Yeah. Nyx Assassin would be the next target because you can actually trade, instead of going for a Blink Dagger, which is your normal pickup, after Mana Boots, you can go for a Force Staff as well. Just a different mobility item. But here, Bounty Hunter really decreases the effectiveness of the Clockwork by picking it up really early, and also being able to help out the rest of his allies when they're caught in Gyrocopter's ultimate or Night Stalkers, being able to chase them down. It's just a very, very defensive item, because Fnatic knows going into the late game they've got this under control. They've got the Weaver carry, the Bounty Hunter and the Invoker both go into the late game decently well compared to Night Stalker and just Gyrocopter. Not really much to talk about, not much late game to talk about there, so
And the second nighttime, or darkness, I should say, just got popped by Scandal. So if they don't make something happen now, they're gonna be stuck with daytime again, and it's gonna be coming fairly soon. So I'm thinking rotate into the jungle. It seems like they have forgotten about that ward that was placed there, or perhaps they want to make sure that Fnatic knows that they are indeed there. They are gonna counter it. They have got a gem, I would think. Yeah, gem on the Night Stalker, who is going for an Aghanims, then I would say. Radar Night Stalker, of course. Roshan attempted. Fnatic, I feel like they can't really fight this. Not with the amount of team fight that Empire still has. I mean, even though I find that Fnatic is slightly ahead in this, team fight wise, 5-on-5, Empire with a song to at least secure the Roshan and then cooldown to follow up on that, still not something that Fnatic can take. And they realize that too. They're gonna let it go. And they're gonna just deal with the after effects of that, with of course the Aegis now in the hands of the Gyrocopter, and bottom lane taken over by Empire, and complete Radiant Jungle being taken over by Empire actually, with everybody coming in.
Yep, they can force a fight here. They can jump either with the Naga Siren ultimate or just Night Stalker or Clockwork getting really aggressive and trying to pick off a hero. Either way, they should have this tower well in hand. If Fnatic attempts to defend, they should easily win the team fight.
Yeah, and they actually are not attempting to fight. They are trying to illuminate, at least delay the push a bit. But in the meantime, they have taken down the tier 2 top, so it's an even trade thus far. Well, a bit of an uneven trade actually, because Empire uses 5 heroes bottom, while Fnatic uses only 4 heroes top. So in a way, it's slightly in favor of Fnatic, but the question is what they get off it. We have got Clockwork finishing up his Blade Meal, and everybody of Empire moving top, Scandal leading the way. Perhaps they can find someone still in the jungle. Fnatic is still hanging around there. Mitch clearing out the creeps as he is building towards his Desolator. He almost got that ready actually. I think he can actually complete it about-ish. They actually have to run. The darkness being popped is kind of a giveaway for Empire to come into their jungle and try to take something there, but everybody backs out in time. If not for that darkness, I think they might have been able to catch someone out.
Well, BKB is about to be picked up by Night Stalker. Again, Fnatic's doing the really smart thing in just avoiding Empire as much as possible wherever they go. Wherever Empire goes, they go to the bottom of the map to take a tier 2. They go to the opposite side of the map and just stay grouped up, try and trade as much as possible, or safely farm.
Well, look at that, 100% win rate with the 4-staff on Trixie, or 4-staff on Bounty Hunter, I should say. He's going now for BKB as well. The BKB ready on the Night Stalker, so still ending up going for the BKB rather than the Aghanims. Probably still an Aghanims later on though, because one of the good things about having a Night Stalker there, especially if you're in late game and you want to try and get ahead, having that radar vision is so incredibly important. Knowing when you can go up high ground. Ooh, Mitch might be in some trouble here if there's going to be a void. Hookshot gets in. Mitch gonna get cogged. Time-lapse himself towards the other side, and the Lincolns pops the silence. He runs and he is safe. And that means that Fnatic has got another chance, because it's gonna be daytime again soon, and there is no darkness anymore for another full minute. Empire, though, they still want to make something happen with this nighttime, especially since they've got all those new and shiny items up. They haven't been able to use their BKBs just yet, and they want to try and use them. A tier 2 tower will be at least something that they possibly can take without really fighting for it even. I don't think Fnatic wants to actually fight. They're still having their Bounty Hunter farming top. They still had their Weaver farming bottom, even though he came back now. But Empire, I mean, with their Aegis, with their BKBs, quite confident in taking the towers here. Only one outer tower left standing.
We got some items to talk about. The gem was picked up really early on Night Stalker. Weaver now has finished up her Desolator, so we now have significant damage upgrade to Fnatic. A lot of physical damage coming out of them now. Blink Dagger was picked up by Nyx Assassin. So we've got that initiation, or at least counter-initiation, for when Empire tries to force a fight. The most unfortunate thing is that Silent, he's still working on his damage item, which puts him, again, almost on par with the Weaver, but he should be ahead. He should be ahead with all the stacks he's being able to have the opportunity to farm. It just comes down to his 2 deaths that he lost out on, and Weaver's significant amount of kills picked up. They're rapidly losing control of this game. Empire, they can't kill the Weaver. Like we saw in that last attempt where they Clockwork ulted in, and Night Stalker had the gem to reveal him and try to silence him out. Time lapse and Lincoln's just too hard.
Blink forward. Scandal getting blinked upon, but there comes a song. The cooldown still hits. Down goes the bounty hunter. BKB is turning on all around. Fnatic, they're gonna have to run from this time lapse. Mitch runs for it. Nice ice wall placed by Hani. But the BKB is 10 seconds. It's gonna allow some people to walk over. And in comes a hookshot. Catches out Mitch. That's one dead bug right there because he already used his time lapse. And that means that Empire just got the fight that they wanted to have. And they might actually get one more. No. No Till is able to TP himself out. I think that was Trixie not really realizing there was indeed a gem up on Scandal, or maybe thinking that not everybody of Empire was around there to help out Scandal. But nice initiation for Empire in the end, taking out 2 kills, and they will take the tier 2 tower as well from this.
Well, that Naga Siren ultimate was actually only level 1, so we have a long cooldown till it's up again. That may be an opportunity for Fnatic to force a couple of fights during the daytime. That's going to be coming up real soon here. MKB was finished up by Silent finally, and they're going to take themselves a tier 2. We have also Blade Mail as well as Vlad's going to be picked up by Mag, so that's going to help out their damage quite a bit. They do need to take control of the next Roshan, and then from there try and push in. Maybe wait for the third nighttime, but either way, time is getting a little bit short for them, as the Aegis is about to get reclaimed. In fact, I really think Fnatic should try and force a couple of team fights here.
Yeah.
I know they've been focusing on farming a lot, but there's a lot of things down. Not only is it daytime, Naga Siren ultimate is down, the Aegis has been reclaimed. There are all those things that put the team fights that were in advantage of Empire. They can take advantage of that and try and smoke up, get aggressive, at least get a pick off or 2. At the very least, try and put Empire a little bit on your heels and free up some room to farm up.
Yeah, and they might be able to get silence here. Mitch got called in by the Keeper of the Light. They're trying to look for him. The Trek goes up on Scandal. And indeed, with daytime here, they know that they need to do something. Scandal tries to TP himself out. Is there enough damage to take him down? Yes! There is!
Got the gem.
Gem on the floor. Did it actually drop here? Yes, it did. Nyx Assassin got it. Because the body of Night Stalker is in the base, so that would have been very unfortunate if that actually was a Night Stalker body with a gem inside the base of Empire. But the gem on the Radiant side right now, can they take something more off this? They kinda have to, because Scandal dying is not enough to get in the time where they, as you said, I mean, this is their moment. Everything is in their favor. Pickoffs, track kills, they should be happening right about now, and tier 2 towers dying should be a part of that. Or at least maybe, perhaps even the result of those pickoffs. We do have Mitch being forced back to go bottom to push the lane back out. He's sitting on 2,500 gold, doing really good for himself. I'm kind of disappointed by Fnatic not being more aggressive with this now, or even having more wards up. They only have 1 ward up. It's going to be too soon if Fly places the one that he has in his inventory, but I feel like they should be getting more control over the game in this period of time. I mean, it's 10 AM. It's going to be nighttime in about 5 to 4 minutes. And there is already a darkness up, so this is gonna be Fnatic's time to try make something happen, but it might have already been too late. Roshan is gonna be up in 2.5 minutes as well. And Mitch is gonna take some Ancients here, getting some extra farm. What do you expect him to go for? Is it gonna be a Butterfly next, or does he want to have still maybe a BKB? I wouldn't be surprised by that, actually.
BKB would be a nice pickup for when Lincoln's is broken and the silence does actually land on the Weaver. Either way, he needs survivability. That's his biggest thing. Is you already have a significant amount of damage with Desolator. You're not talking like Night Stalker may be very, very tanky, especially now that he has a plate mail. But the rest of the heroes are not, so you don't really need damage. Gyrocopter is known to be a rather squishy hero. He relies on his BKB heavily, and if you're able to get direct physical damage on top of him, he usually falls pretty quickly. So he doesn't need more damage. He needs either a harder or BKB. I personally would side with the BKB. Just because there are a lot of stuns coming out. A lot of magic damage, I mean, coming out from Empire. They're going to catch someone out.
Oh, Hani. Ooh, close.
Gonna try and force staff away.
Yep, that's already gonna be hookshot in. Hani stuck in position, Silence up as well as ensnared. In comes Silent. That's gonna be one dead Invoker. And that's gonna be Fnatic backing up towards their base because they cannot fight this without Hani. Nice fight.
Good fake out there. Mag had a good fake out with his ultimate.
Yeah.
Stop spamming it so that Hani tried to force staff away too early. And then ends up catching him after the force staff so he can cogs him in. And there's no escape from there. So that means with Hani down, they're going to feel pretty safe going for this next Roshan. Even though Hani will be up, it's just the pressure that they put on them. They force Fnatic back, they force them into their base, they force them to be defensive. And we'll have to see whether Fnatic is actually going to feel good enough about these team fights, despite the fact that they've been getting picked off, they've lost some team fights, they've been getting picked off left and right. Whether or not they're going to feel good enough about this game to try and defend Roshan, or if they're just going to try and continue to play the turtle game.
Yeah, because right now, I mean, the song is still up for Empire. Oh, they might be able to find someone though. Oh, Scandal. Nice BKB timing. Brilliant. It's gonna make sure that he is safe.
Well, he did have the gem actually,
yeah,
as well. I didn't realize he picked up another gem. I thought that was just purely the impale coming out and him hitting BKB before it landed. But still, though, that was a really good play. They picked up another gem. Fnatic knows that now, and they actually may catch them out here. They have Always Wanna Fly, who does have his ultimate, and that's going to be all around the Roshan area. Makes this next Roshan fight all that more dangerous for Fnatic. And if they lose this, they could easily lose Zarax, and that from there will probably snowball into them losing the game.
Yeah, they can't really afford to let the Roshan go, but at the same time, they can't really fight it either. It's a very tricky combination. Perhaps they can at least take something on the top lane. Maybe they can even take a tier 3. If they are lucky, but the lane isn't really pushed out enough for that. Roshan is already up again, and Fnatic, all they can do is try to farm as much as they can. And we actually have Mitch, rather than going for the defensive side, he has picked up a Chrysalis, so I guess in a way he feels pressured that he needs to be doing something, that he needs to be getting more damage, because he knows that, I mean, building defensive might not be in his favor right now. But he needs to actually have the chance to attack. And that's going to be one thing that Empire is going to, of course, stop. If they can take him down before he can actually do enough damage. They have enough burst damage to take him down, I actually think. There's only one thing needed to pop his Lincolns, and then there's a lot of things on Empire that can actually do that. And of course, Silent. Actually surprised that I didn't pick up Home and Missile, because that's one of the best things to pop up your Lincolns. Knowing that it pops off straight away when you hit that button. And it doesn't really do anything anyway, so it's fine. At least not as level 1. We're gonna see those smoke up for Empire. They're gonna look for something. They're gonna look for someone before taking down the Roshan. If they can pick someone off before Roshan spawns, it's gonna be their free ticket. Even though right now I think that Empire or Fnatic already gave it up.
Yeah, Fnatic did a decent job delaying them a really long time. Like, Empire was sitting 5-man grouped up in their secret shop for a really long time after Roshan spawned. So they were just sitting around. And Fnatic, with just the bounty hero, with just a couple heroes kind of sitting in close to the Roshan pit, it scared Empire enough that they didn't take it for a really long time, which means a lot of free farm time for Fnatic. And they also take map control, maybe kill Mag at top. They're going to try and finish him off. Weaver's going to probably dive in for this one. The Cogs, uphill miss! Unbelievable.
74
misses,
HP.
Man.
Still taking some damage from the bug, actually. And sitting up on 21 HP. But Mag lives! Insanely well done for him, or at least a bit of luck. Helping out. Tower only down to 980 HP, so didn't get up that much in return for that Aegis, but... Honey, what are you doing? He has a Blink and a Force, he's got his Aghanim's, he's kind of stuck though. He hasn't had that much of an impact, like... Invokers, I know that they kind of need to have this ramp up time to get ahead of everybody in terms of levels and such, but this Invoker... Even though he's not been doing bad, he hasn't been having the kind of mid impact that you would expect a mid hero to have in this game. Only been involved in 3 kills.
Yeah, he's Empire's really done a good job shutting him down. They haven't, and part of this isn't necessarily Hani's fault. Not only was he they've done a good job targeting him in some of these ganks and some of these team fights, but also the fact that we haven't seen Nyx Assassin or Bounty Hunter get aggressive into the enemy jungle and try and pick off those solo heroes farming up. So that takes away a lot of opportunity for Honey to be able to add in that participation with Sunstrike. I was expecting a lot more no-tail getting aggressive into the enemy jungle with his Vendettas and finding those heroes, especially like Chen early on. Chen would have been a great pick-off for the Bounty Hunter to go into the jungle and get off that auto attack is enough to slow him down, maybe the mini-stun from the Shuriken. And you can land an easy Sunstrike from there, and that's easy kills. So, I think that Fnatic didn't really utilize this strategy as much as I would have liked to see. But it's also because they've been playing pretty defensive against Empire's lineup, and that's no surprise. Empire is a very aggressive lineup, and they're going to try and turtle this out against the Aegis. that's up on silent.
Yeah, which is exactly the reason why Empire is so aggressive at the moment. I mean, I think that they can perhaps do that with the Aegis. I mean, Silent's already down to half HP, but I don't think he really cares all too much. Looks like they are going to back home and actually send Silent back home. Especially with the push happening on bottom lane. I mean, slowly but steadily, another 300 damage done to the tier 3 tower is what Mitch can do. It's all you can do, actually, as Darkness gets popped. And I think that maybe Scandal is looking to try and have a go at that Weaver. Never mind, goes to farming. He's actually not going to go for the Aghanims at all. He's going for the Assault Cuirass next, Scandal that is, on his Night Stalker.
Yeah, that's a smart choice. They need some minus armor going up against these towers, and more team fight is better. Like, he's not moving around necessarily and getting kills anymore. Fnatic is playing too defensive. They're a lot of times they're shut up in their base. Their biggest part of this game is going uphill, and Aghanims, while it may give you good stats, it's best when moving around the jungle and ganking heroes, and that just isn't the case for Fnatic. Fnatic is playing very, very defensive most of the time, sitting in their own jungle, very grouped up, and if they're not doing that, they're probably inside their base, waiting for the push to come in from Empire. So, AC, I think, is definitely the smart choice, the right choice here for Night Stalker. Once they finish that up, honestly, they can't let this go much longer. They're pushing in top right now because they have a tier 2 at bottom and at middle. So even if Weaver does attempt to split push them, they have the tier 2 to be able to stand in front of that. And that'll give them a lot more time when it comes to these slower sieging pushes that are going on for Empire.
Yeah, they can trade for those for sure. We have got, of course, a lot of items being ready for Fnatic. We've got the BKB on the Bounty Hunter that he hasn't used yet. But with the not very much fights going on, Silent is still sitting on 9 seconds for his BKB as well. Here comes No Tail, goes for an Impale, finds it, gets silenced, and then snared straight away. BKB for Scandal turn on, might be slightly trigger happy, but at least he'll use it to take down the tower. Icewell comes in from Hani, but nobody really cares. Tower drops. In the meantime, Weaver's still taking down a tier 2. 2 tier 2s dropping, actually, also the tier 2 bottom, so no more tier 2s there. In comes Noto again, blinking up. Gets himself only a creep though. Spike Carapace up. Nice dodge for the ensnare with the Vendetta. In comes more tracks. In comes also Mitch now, but he gets the link is already popped. Silence is there. Can he actually time lapse in time? Needs to have waited just a second more longer. No, he goes down. Gyro with the last hit. And that's gonna be Vanscore. And always wanna fly Silent. They are gonna try to take down Rex. They already took one actually. That's all they wanted. TP out with a song there. And that means that even with the buyback from Mitch, Fnatic cannot do anything against that. They just don't have the power without Mitch. And as we just saw, that Linkus is not enough. He needs to have more defensive items. Be that a BKB to stop that silence, as you already mentioned. He needs something more to defend him, but well, what is he gonna go for? He's gonna go for more aggression. He's gonna go for an MKB.
Yeah, he needs that MKB. Like, if he was gonna go, I appreciate Daedalus on Weaver, but you already have the butterfly already up on Gyrocopter. You really need to be able to pick up MKB. The damage output between the two is not that much in the favor of Daedalus. And when you're going up against a butterfly, obviously you want MKB. So I'm a little bit surprised he started going for that Chrysalis at all, considering the fact that the Gyrocopter is going to be ahead in gold and is going to pick up that butterfly before you get your next damage item. Either way, though, I still disagree. Like, if they were going to go pure damage, then Mitch should just focus on split pushing. He should have been in the taking down that tier 3, maybe even focusing on the melee racks by the time they got back. If he had just stuck around and kept on pushing. You can't really have these team fights when you don't have any defensive items whatsoever. So, I think this is a mistake by Mitch. I'm okay with going pure offensive if you're not trying to actually get in team fights. Like, he's just too susceptible right now to those silences to put himself anywhere near these enemy heroes. So.
Yeah, in the meantime, the reason why Vlad is so, not really happy with the pause is that we're already about 12 minutes behind schedule, and we have got really a full schedule today. So getting behind in the first game is kind of not something that they want to happen. And did you know that right now, or at least today, first of all, in case you were asleep, probably you were, Loda will not play for Alliance today because he's ill. But the games will still happen. They'll have a stand-in because they have got in Star Ladder right now, or in Cyber Arena, I should say. They've got a live show going on.
I heard something about that.
Yeah, so they've got a big screen with Dota showing, of course. I mean, they don't have any teams there, I believe, but they'll have a live show, and you know they have people that can just walk in and watch Dota there. How cool is that? I wish I had something like that in my city and people would actually come, because of course that's a second that there would actually be enough people to want to watch Dota. But it's a good day to have a live show because there's so many good games coming up today. Peeing. Well, that's a
How did Vlad guess?
Hmm?
How did he know?
Yeah, well, he just hoped it was peeing, because if it was something else it might take longer. That's not good.
Well, either way, we should get this game going soon. Right now, we're looking at about only about a 3,000 gold lead for Empire.
It's really never been
And almost 4,000
very
experience.
much.
Yeah,
Even with the track
it's
gold,
never been too much.
only 2k in favor of Fnatic at some point, with 4 max for Empire is really not that much. And experience graph looks the same. I mean, 3k in favor of Empire is really nothing at this point. 40 minutes into the game. I guess the biggest difference is that we have a level 22 on the gyrocopter, while we have a level 10 on the Keeper of the Light. He's gonna need to pop his mechanism very fast with that flak cannon flying around.
Well, Satanic is going to help out, but as we see with Mitch focusing on pure damage, soon going to be able to pick up a Daedalus. Honestly, it's not going to take much for him to be able to kill that gyrocopter. Satanic or no? The question is whether or not he can actually get on the gyrocopter and not be disabled. Age is going to go down now. And now we're just going to wait another 4 minutes for Roshan to come back up. That's probably going to be our next team fight. We may see some smokes, especially right before Roshan spawns. It's very common for teams to smoke up and try and get a pick off. That way they're assured a Roshan fight, or at the very least a 4v5 in the pit. Either way though, most teams are going to be farming up for the next couple minutes. Another thing to point out is we've only seen 22 kills in the last 42 minutes. And that's due to the advantage of Fnatic. It's the reason why Empire hasn't taken a huge gold lead, especially after having more towers, having taken a Rax, and having track gold on their side. And it's just because Fnatic has stayed a lot away from a lot of these team fights, has not wanted to trade, because they know track is to the advantage of Empire.
No, track is actually on Fnatic.
Oh, nah.
But I think that's
I'm
that's the
saying
reason
things,
why
yeah.
Fnatic doesn't why Empire doesn't want to trade, because they know that if they trade, they're gonna be trading with a bounty hunter, and they just want to win fights. And then, to be fair, good on them. I mean, they're doing good. If they can hold this on, Fnatic is not able to farm that much anymore. Of course, Mitch is still, a pretty scary factor, and he did finish up his MKB, but he dies very fast, and they have the control to shut him down as well. So I'm actually.
That's why I don't like pauses.
Yeah, you
I'm
get
gonna
all
blame that on the
confused
pause.
about who is on the right, who is on which side. I actually sometimes have that, and I see someone walking into what I think is enemy lineup, and it's like, oh my god, something. Oh wait, he's in the same team. But no, yeah, that happens. But yeah, Fnatic tried to farm, and Empire actually right now making a move on mid.
Yeah, no surprise there. Oh, I don't think they're going to go and push up the base, but they're just going to get aggressive and try and control Fnatic's jungle. Because they know Fnatic are probably going to stay away from a lot of these team fights. They want pickoffs, not team fights. So as long as they're grouped up, they're going to force Fnatic to move around them. As you see, they're already teleporting up to the top lane to start pushing that out.
Yeah, expect to see some wards soon also, maybe around the Roche pit. So far, no wards on the map at all, apart from one sentry, one observer up on the high ground for Fnatic, just to play, of course, defensive. This one is actually brand new. But Empire, I feel like they definitely have the advantage also going in Roche. They still have the song, of course, which can help them secure the Roshan. And Fnatic, it's their turn to try and either get something in return, or I don't know, maybe at least take a fight to take the Aegis off Empire again, and not really lose a fight, but just trade even. Take the Aegis off and make sure that Empire cannot push in straight away, because if Empire gets an Aegis uncontested, they're gonna take that Aegis and they're gonna walk up mid. and they're just gonna try to harass down tier 3 towers and Rax, and I think they're gonna get away with it as well, because Fnatic, the only reason they can stop that from happening is if they can have the lanes pushed out far enough, if they can try and, as we pointed out earlier, try to take tier 3s of their own, try to take Rax of their own, and right now Fnatic, they're not split pushing enough for that just yet. And Empire is still pressing their advantage on onto Fnatic, making sure those lanes are constantly pushed out. Perhaps only the top lane, but in comes a flare. It actually misses. Well, that's a bit of a shame.
Yeah, Empire's doing a good job controlling the map right now. And they've got some good wards up for Roshan, which is going to spawn in like 30 seconds. Fnatic's just doing what they can, trying to focus attention elsewhere. And this time, Weaver... I mean, we really need a BKB on. We really need a BKB on Weaver, but whether that's going to happen or whether or not we're just going to see... I mean, at this point, you've already committed to picking up MKB and the Crystallis. You might as well finish up with the Daedalus and just hope, beyond hope, that you're actually able to get off those auto attacks. Because Empire's been on the ball all game long. They've been trying to shut him down. They've gotten a couple of kills on this Weaver by just being able to focus him down in team fights, get off that Linken's, get off that time lapse, and then continue to follow up with extra disables. They've been on the ball addressing the Weaver whenever he shows up in the team fight, so I don't know, time is just to their advantage right now. I think they just need to be able to pick up the Daedalus and then be able to pick up the BKB after that, but unfortunately Empire's not going to give them that opportunity. They're going to 5-man mid now that they have Aegis and Cheese. And honestly, I think Empire's probably going to be able to take this team fight, all because of Weaver's item choices.
Yep. No pressure on the support on the stand-in, I guess. Poor Mitch, who is trying to do something on the top lane, has to fight some Naga Siren illusions while there, but he will be going up the high ground. I mean, that's all fine. I think that Empire is going to be okay with trading a team fight. If they can get themselves more than just a tier 3 tower, they might be able to force out a GG out of this one. So, let's see. They have to just mark high ground. That's all they need to do. There goes the darkness, that might be the start. There's also a cheese up on Scandal. Homing Missile is gonna fight No-Tail. Fortification is already used. This is Empire's chance. Tornadoes are gonna try to slow them down. In comes BKBs all around. They need to fight now because their melee racks on the top lane are already dead. Flak Cannon forces everybody of Fnatic down. Nyx Assassin already dead because of the Flak Cannon, actually. And down goes the melee racks here as well. So they trade melee racks in the end. Weaver back here in this fight, by the way. He TP'd back home. But in the end, I guess it's not even that bad for Fnatic, since they did take down a Rax of their own on the top lane, courtesy of Mitch. But Empire, I feel like they could have been more persistent. They had an Aegis, have an Aegis still. I guess if they do the same thing on the bottom lane, they're gonna be looking even better, and perhaps they want to save the Aegis for that one. I mean, they didn't end up losing anybody after all.
Yeah, they've got the they still have plenty of time for the Aegis, you're right. So if they just group up at bottom, they have both top and middle constantly pushing in. Clockwork's going to be rocketing this top lane in order to make sure it stays pushed forward. But he should join his team very, very soon here. And now they can just slowly siege down this bottom lane. They've still got about 4 minutes until the Aegis is reclaimed. That's 4 minutes of them just sitting in front of this tower and getting little pot shots off on it. Just every once in a while going uphill, getting a couple of hits off, slowly but surely taking this down this tower, and never putting themselves in any real danger.
Yeah, the BKBs are still there as well. Gyro getting harassed a bit, losing a bit of his mana with the mana leak there, but he'll be fine. I mean, he has an Aegis. Who wouldn't be fine with that one? Let's see if they can walk up the high ground. Nice ice path being dropped down from, or ice wall, dropped down by the Invoker, who was building towards the side of ice. Well, if only he had that earlier to try and shut down either Scandal or Gyro, but right now I don't think it's going to be in time anymore. Empire looking solid. There is no lane pushed out at the moment, so Fnatic, they cannot go for a trade. They just know that they need to defend their bottom lane. And at the same time, mid lane is getting pushed in by Empire, top lane is getting pushed in as well. And that means that if Empire waits here long enough, at some point one of Fnatic has to go middle or top to try and defend that. Silent, get some more harassment, it comes a Meteor. That might be enough to take the Aegis. The track goes off, that's an Aegis. Of course, you don't want to put your BKB on there. Sunstrike comes off straight away, it's too early actually. Now they go for it, BKB turned on all around. Trixie already getting forced off into safety. Scandal looking for a target. We'll find Mitch. The link is already popped. The Void is still there, he tries to run for it, but in comes the Song, and that's gonna allow them to pick up the tier 3 tower if they want to, depending on what Always Wanna Fly is gonna move towards. Actually, no. Always Wanna Fly is gonna get hexed up. Force staff, safety there. Cogs get put out by Mag, and that's a tier 3 tower dead. Impale still hits upon 2. Trixie can't really do anything apart from putting down Track. No Tail, I'm not sure what you were doing there, but you're dead. Naga7 picks up that first kill of this fight. Mitch will be the second one if he's not careful. Gets force staffed into safety once again. More force staffs, more safety, but Rex, you cannot force staff Rex. They're gonna go down and snare up against Trixie as well. In comes the cooldown, it comes a triple kill for Silent, and down goes the Mela Rex, down goes the range Rex. In comes the GG. Empire takes Fnatic, points away from them, and gets themselves a win here, and indeed looking very solid here in this game, as Fnatic, they couldn't wrap their hands around it. Do you think it was because Era's not here, or do you think that Empire just looked that strong?
Yeah, really well played by Empire. Every single game I see them, they impress me more and more. And I have to say, they identified Fnatic's strategy of getting ganks and kind of turtling up. And they just stayed grouped together a lot of times as 5, not giving this Weaver any opportunity to be able to sit there and just get in a lot of auto attacks. Every single time he showed up in a team fight, they immediately focused him down, trying to get some spells off to break that Linken's in order to get a silence off on him. And every single team fight, especially those last couple ones, Weaver just could not stay in the team fight. He would get off a couple of auto attacks and would immediately get chased away. So I think that was a big part of that. But Empire, really well played, really well played, and I hope to see more games from them. Do we have any more today?
None of Empire, but we are gonna see Quantic Na'Vi next, so that's gonna be at least one to take your mind off that. We're gonna jump ourselves right into that one because we are already behind schedule, so stick around for Na'Vi Quantic. We'll be right back.